Check out our Instagram page at andthe90spod. We've been working really hard to post supplemental videos to these podcasts so that you can...
There's a lot of cool stuff up there.
Yeah, so you can see what we're talking about, not just listen to it.
Yeah, get some clips of maybe some outtakes, some audio clips. There's just going to be a whole bunch of fun stuff up there. Check it out, and on with the show.
You got mail.
Do you remember the 90s?
Come on, Uncle Phil, this is the 90s, man.
Man, it's the 90s. It's hammer time. Come on.
It's the 90s, remember? Microchips, microwaves, faxes, airphones.
Ma, it's the 90s. You can call it what it is.
Yada, yada, yada.
I can be anything I want to be. It's the 90s.
What, are you nuts? This is the 90s. We're gonna sue you.
Wake up and smell the 90s.
Wow, this is the best drink of water after the longest drought in my life.
What do you think? You don't recognize the voice?
I mean, no.
Okay, let me try again. This one's going to be a little bit more obvious.
I feel like this is Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I'm asking for a phone call.
A film biography might let them get to know the real you. Virtuous, heroic, nubile.
You left out pleasant. But I like that film biography idea. A slick Hollywood picture to gloss over my evil rise to power like Bugsy or Working Girl. Get me Steven Spielberg.
He's unavailable.
Then get me his non-union Mexican equivalent.
Is it about Steven Spielberg?
It is.
Okay, I thought it was Steven Spielberg.
Yeah. The first clip that I played was short, but it was him winning Best Picture for Schindler's List.
Okay,
and
yes.
so it references the fact that he'd been nominated a ton of times prior to that, but didn't win until 1993 or 94 or whatever when it actually comes out. What can you tell us about Steven Spielberg?
What can I tell you about?
Just generally. We'll get into specifics, but...
Well, personally, I think he's the greatest living director that we have right now. Sorry, Mr. Scorsese.
Yeah. And I think he was recognized as that in the 90s, too. So 30 years ago, he was recognized as that. But even 40 years ago.
There's a lot of people that are, say, your international guys like Fellini or Kurosawa or these great directors, but they also don't have, none of them have an actual, like, popular success and monetary success that he has.
Yeah. I would say, so we were 12 in 1990, right? Mm-hmm. And Steven Spielberg was sort of the cliche of what movie director is. If you didn't know anything about movies, you would recognize the name Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, he's synonymous with director.
Much like Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't know any directors, you might know 3 or 4.
He's a household name.
He's a household name. Steven Spielberg would 100% be on that list. Now, when we were kids, and he was much earlier in his career, he was very much considered like a wonderkind because he started very, very young.
Yeah, he started off directing television, and he made his bones on Columbo, some of the early Columbo episodes and television movies.
Yeah. He was born in 1946, and in the 60s, he was working on short films, including the 1968 short film Amblin, which later became the name of his production company, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. He did a few films in the 70s, Duel, Sugarland Express, and then in 1975, your favorite film that you've never seen.
Jaws.
Yes.
What we are dealing with here is a perfect engine, an eating machine. It's really a miracle of evolution. All this machine does is swim and eat and make little sharks, and that's all.
And that was sort of the beginning of summer blockbusters.
It was the first blockbuster. Yeah. And for what the kids don't understand, the reason why they call it blockbuster is because the line was so long to get in that it would go around the block.
And there were no assigned seats.
That's
you
right.
You could not buy the tickets online.
You had to just wait, and sometimes you just didn't get in because
get
all
screwed.
the shows were sold out.
Or you'd show up at 7 o'clock hoping to get a ticket, and you'd have to get a ticket to the 9:30 show.
Because this was the year before Star Wars.
Yeah.
It was Jaws set it up, and then
Yep.
Star Wars knocked it out of the park.
Yeah. So then in the 70s, he did Close Encounters of the Third Kind, 1941, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and then in 1982...
Was that Empire of the Sun? Oh, no, that was 1941.
In 1982, what movie
he did E.T.
Yes,
Duh, he did E.T. Dear
E.T..
God. Yes.
So E.T. was incredibly popular. It obviously starred Drew Barrymore in one of her earliest films. And for several years, it was the most financially successful movie of all time. So when we were kids, E.T. was number one in terms of earnings.
E.T. phone home? E.T. phone home. And no come.
I watch it today with the kids, and I am like drawn into it. It's.
I didn't see it back in the day. I've only seen it since I became a parent.
Yeah, I never saw it in the theater as well.
Yeah, well, we would have been pretty young.
Yeah.
82 was a little early. So, not yet the 90s, though. 1983, Twilight Zone, the movie. 1984, he started with... Oh, no, I guess Raiders of the Lost Ark is the first Indiana Jones, right?
It is.
So, 1984 was Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And then in 89...
He met his wife on that.
One of his wives.
Yes.
Yep. We'll talk about the family in a little bit. 89, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. So, he did that trifecta. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, fun fact, contributed to the origin of PG-13 ratings.
That and Gremlins.
Yeah, which he produced.
That's true.
Yep. We'll get into his producing movies later. He's done a ton. So then in 1985, he did one of his sort of earlier big dramatic achievements. Can you think of what that might be based on a novel?
That would be The Color Purple.
That is correct, yeah. The movie was nominated for 11 Oscars and won how many? 0? Yes.
Yeah, it was
I
notable.
believe it's a record to be nominated for that many and winning 0.
It kept him thirsty.
It kept him thirsty, yeah. 1987, Empire of the Sun. 1989, Always.
One of his notable flops.
Always?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did not do as well as the rest. The rest of them, for the most part, these movies did quite well.
Yeah,
Always
is his real only flop, I think.
Do you know what his first film of the 90s was? We've talked about it on this podcast before.
It's Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade? We haven't talked about that. That was actually
that was
89.
91.
He was also very prolific. He would be doing, he did runs where he would do like a couple movies back to back to back all the time.
Now, according to my list here, he only did 6 films in the 90s, but he produced a ton, and we'll talk about those in a little bit.
Man, so I know 94 was the big year for him, 94 and 95, but I can't remember what was between then.
So, in 1991, he did a film starring Robin Williams and Julia Roberts.
Oh, Hook.
Yes.
The most 90 of 90s movies. Yeah, again, It was not a financial flop. It was a slight Spielberg film.
Yeah.
I don't love Hook, but my kids do. And there's a whole generation of young people who really appreciate the movie on a level far beyond what I put into it. And I really appreciate people rediscovering Hook.
So then, in 1993, these movies came out. And in 1994, it was the weirdest Oscars ever because it was dominated by his 2 films.
Jurassic Park.
And
Schindler's List.
There are not 2 films that could be any different than those 2.
And my mother took me to a double bill of it.
You watched both of them on the same day?
She did. She took me to go see Jurassic Park, which I was kind of not into. I think she wanted to see it more than me. I've never been much of a dinosaur dude. Mm-hmm. I kind of even then thought Jurassic Park, I was like, I admired it, but I was like, that was fun. Mm-hmm. And then and then my mom, being the nefarious little troublemaker she is, wanted to theater hop. And so she's
That's
like, let's go to Schindler's List.
Sweet.
And it never crossed her mind that this might have been something
that would traumatize her young child.
Oh, I don't know about
traumatize,
but still that it would have even been inappropriate in any way to take someone my age to, which I don't think it was.
No.
I don't know if she knew what she was getting into, but
I could have got more. Oscar, there are 1,100 people who are alive because of you. Look at them. If I'd made more money. If I just... There will be generations because of what you did. I didn't do enough.
So Schindler's List is on AFI's list of greatest films of all time in the top 10, depending on what year, because it kind of goes through some edits, but it's always in the top 10. It was nominated for 12 Oscars and won 7 of them, including Best Picture, Best Director. And it was relatively successful and profitable. And some of that money was used to establish the Shoah Foundation, which was designed, do you know what that's about?
Yeah, it was designed to, while the survivors of the Holocaust were still alive, record their stories.
Yeah, 100% that. And then there were dinosaurs.
You stood on the shoulders of geniuses to accomplish something as fast as you could, and before you even knew what you had, you patented it and packaged it and slapped it on a plastic lunchbox, and now you're selling it. You want to sell it. Well,
our scientists have done things which nobody's ever done before.
Yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
So Jurassic Park was also released that year. Now, I don't know what order they were actually made or whatever, but they were both released in 1993. It took over E.T.'s spot as the highest grossing film of all time.
So you want to know the story behind that, though? He had to shoot the technology for Jurassic Park. The big thing with that was it was the first time that they ever used computer graphics to create photorealistic characters or animals on screen. So they didn't know what they were doing. They were making it up as they went, and it took them years to do the post-production on the film. So he shot it and then went off immediately after shooting Jurassic Park and went to go film Schindler's List. And he had to work while doing the scene, the very dramatic, tenseness of shooting Schindler's List. Yeah. And then at the end of the day,
in Poland, I think, too, right?
Yeah. Switch his brain to then start looking at dailies of the special effects from Jurassic Park. And he would talk about, he just went insane.
I bet. That film got nominated for 3 Oscars, and it won all 3. Schindler's List was nominated for 12. So his 2 films were nominated for 15 Oscars and won 10, which is crazy in 1 year. Can you tell me a little bit about Steven Spielberg's relationship with George Lucas?
Yeah, so there was a thing in LA. They had these film brats. It was Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, John Milius, Francis Ford Coppola, and Brian De Palma.
Yeah.
And all of these 5 guys all came up together. Some were a little bit before and a little older, like De Palma, Milius, and especially Francis Ford Coppola, who was kind of like the father figure to all of them. And they all would watch each other's work, give each other notes and feedback, and they just conquered the 70s. Francis, of course, had The Godfather. And from then on...
And Apocalypse Now.
And Apocalypse Now, which kind of bookended the 70s. But about George Lucas and Steven Spielberg, they ended up producing each other's work. They would piggyback and support each other, whether it's from using Industrial Light and Magic, which George Lucas owned, or Steven Spielberg would end up funding and working as a director for Lucas. Especially with the Indiana Jones trilogy. That was kind of like, well, now there's 5 of them.
Right.
But the main 3, they worked together. The OG 3, they got together and created that character. Ended up, that was one of his nominations. People forget that the original Raiders of the Lost Ark was nominated for Best Picture.
I don't know that it was. Was it? Let me check my notes. Yes, you're right. Then in 1997... although they worked years and years on Jurassic Park, they apparently made Jurassic Park 2: The Lost World very quickly because it came out in 97.
Even Spielberg needed money.
Well, he didn't need it, but he certainly could use it. So now this next film is a part of probably my oddest double feature.
Ooh.
I saw Jackie Brown on the same day as I saw Amistad.
Oh, man. That is 2 spectrums of the Black experience right there.
It really is, yep. I don't remember a ton about Amistad. I know that it was a courtroom story, basically. And Matthew McConaughey was in it, and I like that. So then in 1998, the last film that he made in the 90s is one, you've said it is one of the best films.
Yeah, it's Saving Private Ryan.
With Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Ryan. I don't care. Man means nothing to me. It's just a name. But if, if going to Ramel and finding him so he can go home, if that earns me the right to get back to my wife, well, then that's my mission.
No, you get that 25-minute beach
Open.
scene.
Yeah, that open is iconic.
Is not just iconic, but I mean, you could have just stopped took those first 2 reels and that's all you saw. I don't think people would have felt like slighted in any way.
Yeah. So that was the year that at the Oscars, usually Best Director and Best Picture go together. And the same film wins for both. And this year was one of the uncommon splits.
And the Oscar goes to Steven Spielberg. Am I allowed to say I really wanted this?
He won Best Director for Saving Private Ryan. So this was his 3rd Oscar after directing and producing Schindler's List. What was the film that won Best Picture that year?
It was Shakespeare in Love.
It was Shakespeare in Love.
Yes. The thing is in any other year up against anything else, Shakespeare in Love is a perfectly wonderful, great film. I even against, honestly, I'd probably rather sit down and watch Shakespeare in Love because it's light and it's an easier film to watch,
I have a question for you, and this doesn't necessarily need to be in this podcast, but I am wondering, have you ever seen the short film George Lucas in Love?
I have.
Okay. I thought that was like a thing that nobody saw. I saw it back in the day, and I think it's
where all
adorable.
the little coincidences of
it's George Lucas going to college, and it's the premise of
how he makes all the little things, like how he gets R2-D2's name or how he gets makes up Indiana Jones and all of this stuff. Yeah,
because Shakespeare in Love is how Shakespeare gets his plays.
Yeah, it's really clever.
Yeah, it's very cute. All right. So we've now hit the 2000s. So he's done a ton of films. He's very, very prolific, especially for a director, because directing can take a couple years to make one film, and it apparently doesn't for him. So I'm going to say some names, and you're going to tell me your general impression of them, because you've probably seen most of them, and I've seen most of them as well. Not all of them. I've seen like half of them. So AI, artificial intelligence.
Kubrick would have done it better.
Kubrick was supposed to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Minority Report.
Prescient.
I did see that one.
Really good, but very prescient now.
Catch Me If You Can.
Stone Cold classic. Probably
very entertaining.
Very Stone Cold classic. Leo Hanks.
Yeah.
Doesn't get better.
Yeah, it's great. I would watch it again tonight, but we have other things going. The Terminal.
I never got it, never liked it.
Oh, I liked it. I thought it was interesting.
Don't get it one bit.
Okay. War of the Worlds.
Tom Hanks, stuff blows up.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Oh, Tom Cruise, by the way. I said Tom Hanks.
Munich.
Munich? Never saw Munich. Munich is actually kind of the beginning of Spielberg suddenly getting into his dad novel phase where he was making a lot of from here on in.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of sci-fi spectacle going on.
No.
He's doing a lot more prestige films, especially about historic films.
Yeah. So, of course, next is Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Less said, the better. Wow. Wow.
The Adventures of Tintin.
The Adventures of Tintin, I wish I loved more, but God, I'm so glad there's a Tintin movie directed by Steven Spielberg, produced by Peter Jackson.
Nice. War Horse.
Never saw it.
Me neither. Lincoln?
Love Lincoln.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
Got what's his name? Daniel Day-Lewis, one of his 3 Oscars, I think.
Yeah, he won the Oscar for that.
Yeah.
Bridge of Spies. I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
Is that Tom Hanks?
No, it is Tom Hanks. But the one who won the Oscar for it was Ryland.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
The BFG.
I like the BFG. It's a dumb movie. It's a CG nightmare film of a bunch of giants and stuff. It's based on a Roald Dahl film. Book.
A book, yeah. The Post.
Didn't see it.
Another Tom Hanks movie.
Meryl Streep in that
They've worked together a lot. Him and Tom Hanks have, Ready Player One?
No, I God knows I should be the main nerd adolescent for this film. It's like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but bad.
West Side Story.
I liked it.
Yeah. It was a pretty good remake. The Fabelmans, which I really should see. You've seen it.
The Fabelmans is amazing.
Yeah, which is a story about his own childhood, effectively.
It's his childhood. They just changed the name.
Yeah. So, I'm just going to ramble for a moment here. These are films that he also produced in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and beyond. Poltergeist, Gremlins, Gremlins 2, The Goonies, Back to the Future Part 2, Back to the Future Part 3, The Money Pit, Harry and the Hendersons, Empire of the Sun, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Joe versus the Volcano, Arachnophobia, Cape Fear, tons of animated Tiny Toons, Animaniacs, Pinky and the Brain, that whole situation. Please find clips. I could not find any, but I know that they reference him quite a bit. The Flintstones, Casper, Twister, Men in Black, Deep Impact, Mask of Zorro, Small Soldiers, and countless other ones that I didn't write down, but you can look on Internet Movie Database. It's impressive.
Steven Spielberg Presents
Seriously.
is what the official title above everything on the poster.
How many Oscars do you think he's been nominated for? And keep in mind that he...
As producer as well?
No, yes. So he gets a nomination when he produces a film. He gets a Best Picture nomination, also director, and he has one original screenplay nomination. Do you know what that one is?
No.
Okay. How many nominations do you think he has amongst those three categories?
Does that count this year's Hamnet?
It does.
Okay. I'm going to say 87.
What? He's not Walt Disney.
That's what I was kind of going with.
Yeah, but the animated stuff that he made was television.
Okay.
These are only feature films.
I was shooting for the moon.
Yeah,
I'm
you were.
aspirational here. 38?
24.
Oh, that's less than I would think.
Yeah.
Especially because most of his movies and things that he produced tend to get technical Oscars because of all the special effects.
Yeah, but I'm
and
not talking
everything
about
else.
total nominations for the films he's made. I'm saying nominations where he has gotten the nomination specifically.
Got it. Okay. I was just going with, that's why I had
No,
such a
no,
large
no.
number, because I
Then,
was just
yeah.
like, Arachnophobia got nominated for best
Right.
sound.
I would not even know how to add that number
Okay.
up. That would be a lot. I mean, Schindler's List got like 13 nominations or whatever.
Could be, 86 or 87, like
It
I
really
said.
could. Or 6, 7.
Not so crazy a number now, is it, folks, when you put it in context?
Nope. So he's been nominated 9 times for Best Director over 6 different decades. Isn't that crazy? He's been nominated in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, the 2000 teens, and 2020s.
I mean, have you seen Duel?
No.
You've seen Jaws.
Yes.
Outside of maybe Orson Welles, has there ever been a debut like that? Where someone right out of the gate is just the wonderkin.
We're not going to do too much of a quiz here. I'll just tell you. The 9 films that he was nominated for Best Director for are Close Encounters, Raiders of the Lost Ark, E.T., Schindler, which he won, Saving Private Ryan, which he won, Munich, Lincoln, West Side Story, and Fabelmans. 9. Best Picture, a whole additional list here. 14 nominations for Best Picture, so as producer.
Wow.
Although I think most of them he directed as well, but not all of them. Best Picture, E.T., Color Purple, Schindler, he won for Schindler, Private Ryan, Munich, Letters from Iwo Jima. Did he direct that?
He did not.
Okay, so that's the one that he didn't direct, he just produced. War Horse, Lincoln, Bridge of Spies, The Post, West Side Story, Fabelmans, Maestro, which also I don't think he directed.
Bradley Cooper directed that.
And Hamnet, which just got nominated mere days ago. I'm going to ask you again, now that you've been refreshed on the various titles of the films that he has been nominated for in other categories, can you think of the one that he was nominated for Best Original Screenplay?
Would it be Raiders of the Lost Ark?
No.
Okay. That was Lawrence Kasdan.
And think, it's original screenplay. It is not adapted.
I really want to get this one right.
I really want this for you. It's fairly recent.
I mean, I want to say it's AI.
Nope.
It's not. Okay.
More recent than that.
More recent. Is it Fabelmans?
Yes! Ding, 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 ding,
With
ding,
Kushner,
ding, ding,
right?
ding, ding.
I think it's Tony Kushner.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he
It is his story to tell.
that is the film that I should see next of his. And it's available, and I just haven't gotten around to it. He also won Irving G. Thalberg Award in 1987 which seems crazy early for a career to win the Thalberg Award, but whatever. He's also won 4 Emmys for his animated Warner Brothers Animaniac situation shows.
Tiny Toon Adventures and Animaniacs.
Yep.
And Freakazoid.
Yes, Freakazoid. Do you know what he did in 1994 that was quite significant?
Outside of film production?
Related, but not about actually making a film. Also, Steven Katzenberg and David Geffen.
They created the DreamWorks studio.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you describe what that is a little bit?
Yeah. No, it was just Jeffrey Katzenberg. After the whole Disney Renaissance, Katzenberg left Disney, got together with Steven Spielberg, and I believe, I remember one of the first ones that they did was Prince of Egypt.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I think so.
Prince of Egypt was like their first animated film, and I mean one of their other first DreamWorks films was the film Mouse Hunt, which is like a live action Looney Tunes thing.
I just remember when it was developed, it was the first artist-owned studio since United Artists back in the day.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was a big deal. I mean, we talked about in an episode about kind of the disruption of the Fox network. Mm-hmm. And that was about the same because there had been other production companies, especially in the 90s, like Miramax came in, but they weren't making films on the scale of DreamWorks. DreamWorks was playing with like $100 million budget films.
All right, before we end, I'm just going to give you just a brief. He's not known for his personal life or shenanigans or tabloid stuff. So he has been married twice. His first wife was Amy Irving. They met in 1976 when she auditioned for Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And they had a child named Max, I want to say. Yes, Max. And they shared custody. They divorced after a couple years, but they had one child together. And their divorce settlement is one of the most expensive in history because he's wicked rich. I believe I read somewhere, and I don't know where it is, but I believe that he is one of the very richest filmmakers in Hollywood.
So I wanted to get this fact in, and this is a great segue for that. You want to know where he makes his most money?
Where?
He works almost exclusively with Universal Studios. And when Universal Studios opened their theme parks, they specifically partnered with Steven Spielberg.
This is an actual working studio. This isn't an amusement park. I thought of this line, ride the movies, which is what this is really all about. You come here and you ride on the movies.
For that endorsement, he gets a percentage of the gross of every single ticket to this day in perpetuity.
That's crazy. He's incredibly wealthy. He's doing great for himself. He could finance anything he wanted to. His second wife, do you know her name?
Kate Capshaw?
Yes! He cast her in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. They married in 1991, and she converted to Judaism for him. And they have 5 children. Sasha, Sawyer, Destry, Theo, and Michaela. And he has a stepdaughter from an earlier relationship, Jessica Capshaw. So now, since we are talking about an entertainer of sorts, and we've gotten into the tradition of naming our gateway drugs of particular people, what are your 3 Steven Spielberg gateway drugs?
I'm going to say one of my gateway drugs was I went to Universal Studios when it first opened. Mm-hmm. This was just on the cusp of the 90s. Mm-hmm. And the opening preamble video starring Steven Spielberg introducing the E.T. ride is still burned into my brain as one of the most entertaining and somewhat unintentionally funny, but also just, I was like, holy crap, Steven Spielberg is inviting me into this ride.
Hello, I'm Steven Spielberg, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to the E.T. adventure. But I'm afraid we don't have much time, so I'm going to cut right to the chase. E.T. needs your help.
All of his appearances where he just appears as Steven Spielberg, because even on the Animaniacs and Tiny Toons Adventures, he shows up as Steven Spielberg. He knows how to parody himself.
Yeah, you'll have a fun time looking for those clips.
Yeah.
I actually don't have any films from the 1990s that I would specifically recommend, mostly because I have not seen Schindler's List, which I know is an embarrassment. I wasn't going to watch it while I was like half paying attention while I was working on this. So one day I will watch Schindler's List. And Jurassic Park is great. It's good. It's fine. And Hook, I think we watched fairly recently with the kids. Amistad's a little dark. And Saving Private Ryan, especially in this day and age, I don't need to see anything about World War II. So just like our Tom Hanks episode, I'm going to say Catch Me If You Can is high up on there. I think it's very entertaining and it's a great movie.
Oh man, you stole mine on that one.
You chose a ride as your first one.
It's true. I chose the man himself. No,
yes.
I'm going to have to say that Raiders of the Lost Ark, even though it is pretty early in his career,
that doesn't matter,
is probably the most iconic thing that I think he's made. I think that he really embodies and loves old Hollywood, especially like the old movie serials and kind of the Flash Gordon of it all, the same reason why Star Wars was such a big deal.
Yeah.
There's a reason why he went back and made 4 of those movies, because he really loves the character, and I think it's a lot of him in that movie, more so than any of his other ones, maybe outside of Fabelmans.
My second choice, I think, is going to be The Color Purple. It's a movie that I
haven't seen.
I need to watch again. Well, maybe we should watch it together and bring the children in, at least the older one. I read the book years ago, and it's got great performances by Whoopi Goldberg and Danny Glover and Oprah Winfrey. So yeah, I think it's pretty good. It's unusual for a white man to be able to direct a film about the Black experience in America and slavery without, I don't know, making it weird.
All right, for my final one, I'm actually going to choose a film that he did not direct, he produced, but the film wouldn't have existed without him.
Okay.
And that is Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh, nice.
Because
I've been wanting to watch that again.
yeah, the Herculean effort of that film is you talk about how everything's all about IP now. This film was the first and most kind of challenging IP film I think that was ever created, because you had Warner Brothers character and Disney characters in a Disney
mashup,
film in a mashup. And the only person who could have gotten those two studios to take two of the most iconic, marketable, merchandisable characters on earth, Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny, and get two studios to agree to put them into a film is Steven Spielberg. He just called up and cashed every check that he could ever do. And they just said, print money, we're going. Spielberg said yes.
Nice.
And that film is everything I've ever wanted in a film, because I just love cartoons and film noir and old Hollywood and everything. So the Steven Spielberg presents of it all is
I
quite...
think our kids would really, really like it. Although I don't know that, I think we have it on DVD, but I think it's hard to find.
You can find it on Disney Plus.
Oh, it's on Disney Plus?
It's on Disney
Plus.
Plus.
Oh, well, never mind then. Okay, it's easy. The last one that I'm going to choose is one that I actually haven't seen, but I very much intend to see, and I mentioned it already, and I think it's a movie that I would probably enjoy a lot. The Fabelmans. I think it's my vibe. I don't do war very well. I don't really care for sci-fi. Action is not where it's at for me. I think that, a little, I'm sure it's not little, but a drama about a boy discovering his artistic pursuits, I think I could go for that.
It's a little lower stakes than, say, The End of the World or
I don't need that.
The Lost Ark of the Covenant and the Holy Grail.
Feels too real.
What can you say kind of about Steven Spielberg that hasn't been said? We've tried to...
No, he's the epitome of film director. He's the cliche of it.
And he's still working.
He's still working.
He has a film coming out this year.
Yeah, well, I mean, a movie that he just produced, just got a nomination?
Yeah,
got nominations?
He was up at the Golden Globes. He's the producer, so he stood up there at the Golden Globe for Hamnet and was talking.
Yeah, I mean, he's everything that any aspiring film student would want to be. Although they would never say it out loud because he's too...
commercial.
He's too commercial.
I think especially in the 90s, I think
that was a dirty word.
Spielbergian.
Yeah, sentimental.
Even with Schindler's List, there was a lot of people that they weren't negating the film, but they definitely were kind of like Steven Spielberg kind of went a little too hard on the sentimentality and everything for a Holocaust movie. So the 90s was a hard time for him, but there were still some classics that came out of it.
And that's why we got Quentin Tarantino. No sentimentality at all.
That's absolutely true.
All right.
For another podcast.
This has been
Dave
and Cheryl
and the 90s.
See, I believe that all the mysteries of the universe, all the answers to life's questions can be found in a Spielberg film. It's a theory I've been working on. You see, whenever I have a problem, all I have to do is look to the right Spielberg movie, and the answer's revealed.
Got a favorite 90s moment or topic you want us to dive into? We'd love to hear about it. If you think we got everything wrong, we'd love to hear about that too. Drop us an email at andthe90spod@gmail.com, link in the episode description, and you can be damn sure that we'll read your comments on the show. Also, if you're digging the show, please rate, comment, subscribe, and tell everyone you know to check us out. It really does make a difference. Till next time, remember, we're nostalgia for the olds and education for the youths.